Hey guys, Ben Claybrook here. I'm actually going to talk to you about a software I used to boost my agency when I first started, and I still use it actually. It helped me get 2 to 3 appointments a week automatically without paying for ads. That's why it was so important for me back when I started and why it's so important right now actually. And it leverages the power of LinkedIn. A lot of you, anybody who uses LinkedIn, if you're not using it, I highly recommend it. I remember when from the point I started using software to 2 weeks later, it grew my LinkedIn connections from like 400 to about 2,000. Yeah, now it's at like 2,700, and it just did it on autopilot. So some of you might be familiar with Duck Soup. I like that a lot. I tested a little bit at the beginning. It was just basically super basic because it would reach out and it would auto connect with people, but it didn't go much further than that. So then I found this other software that made a tremendous difference because not only did it reach out and grow my kind of connections, so that way, you can use that for all kinds of things like organically posting on LinkedIn, it grows your following, but also once it connected, it sent them follow-up messages, and then from there it dropped them into an email campaign where it basically got people to see my training or some type of value that I brought to them and got people to automatically book appointments with me. So the tool I use for that is B2B prospecting tool. I'll put a link down below because I do have an affiliate program and I'll give you a bonus if you use that link, but that's not why I'm sharing it with you guys. But the bonus is going to be like the conversation sequence that I came up with after testing it with myself and with several other people. Because the key here with any automation is to keep it natural and remain, you don't want to sound like a bot, right? Which it is. It uses a remote server to basically use your account to reach out to 80 to 120 people a day to connect with them. And then when they get back and they connect with you, it follows up with a message automatically, and then another message 3 days later if you don't hear from them, another message then after 7 days of connecting, and then it'll start emailing them. So I highly recommend it, but I highly recommend using it in a more natural way so people aren't annoyed, first of all. But one of the tricks to it is that if somebody does respond at any point, no matter what it is, whether it's stop or hey, how's it going, or hey, great to connect, no matter what they respond, the automation stops, which is a huge key, so that way it doesn't feel automated, right? So again, this B2B prospecting tool, if you use the link below, obviously I'll share that conversation sequence with you because it took me a while to build it out to where it felt natural. But yeah, to cover the main points, the main reason I'm kind of recommending it on my channel is just because it was one of the only sources to basically automatically from zero getting me to 2 to 3 automated calls. So 2 to 3 booked appointments with people that actually like the decision makers. Now, a couple things of that though, it doesn't work so well in the B to C. Like if you're just going for residential, I say residential because I'm in the solar niche, right? So if I'm going for residential customers, it doesn't work so well there. Where it works really well is commercial. So if I'm trying to work with CEOs or presidents, anything like that, where I can kind of define the title of that person, highly recommend using this software because LinkedIn has a very good search tool. So if you can search them, you go here to the advanced search, and then you can search by, let me see if I can just pull it up for you. Okay, so as you can see here, you can search very specifically. You can search by geographically, so location, whether it's a city, a state, a region, a country. And you can search by industry. You can search by industry, and you can search by title, and you can search by company size. So if you know who your ideal customer is and you're working with businesses, then LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. And then combining LinkedIn with this B2B prospecting tool to automatically reach out to that people, basically what you end up doing is you create a search profile. So basically let's say you're working with people in the United States, companies that are maybe 10 to 50 employees, that size company is what you want to start with. And then you want to talk to the CEO, obviously the decision maker. So you'll create a search. You just go and fill out however all the different search profiles, right? Create that audience. It's going to be about maybe 2 to 5,000 people. You want to get it all the way down to 1 to 2,000 people, right? If you can get that specific, then all you're going to do is basically connect these, and then that audience will drop into the software, and then it'll start automatically reaching out once you upload your conversation sequence. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, basically once you drop in that search of people, that 1 to 2,000 people into the software, it'll automatically every day reach out to about 80 to 120 of those people, whatever you set that meter at, because you don't want to do too many, otherwise LinkedIn will know it's a bot, right? but it'll automatically reach out, say, hey, looks like we, and oh, this is one little secret is you want to set the search to second connections. And this is just a freebie for me, because I found that like if you set it to second connections and you just say in that initial message, so that way it's not, because I don't know, if you're like me, then you get all kinds of messages on LinkedIn, and it's like, it's so obvious that it's an automated message because it's this long thing. It's just like, oh, come on guys, be natural, be human, And so like you can start off the conversation much more naturally when you reach out to second connections and just say, hey, looks like we have some mutual connections. I'd love to connect with you as well here on LinkedIn. Very simple, very straightforward, to the point, makes sense, right? They connect, and then that follow-up message will automatically get triggered within the first 24 hours. It says, hey, great to connect with you. I noticed you blank, blank, blank. So whatever your niche is, I noticed you do solar. I'd love to connect with you about that. Or I just released a case study I thought you might find helpful. So you don't send all that bleh until after you connect with them, right? And then you say, hey, I just released this case study, or I just have released this free video I thought you might find it helpful. Here's the link. That takes them to your sales page, where then you have a link for them to book a call. If they don't respond, then you have that follow-up message that goes automatically after 3 days. If they do respond, automation stops. If they don't respond, another message at the 7-day point, and then in the emails. Because what I noticed, now this is another huge takeaway, is at first I did try it with just the software, right? But when I combine that with the email, because the software will allow you to automatically export into your email follow-up sequence. And what I noticed when I combine it with email, a lot of people don't check their LinkedIn messages like I do, especially if you're using a software, you're constantly checking messages, but a lot of people don't check their messages, which is interesting. Even though they're getting them in their inbox, it's different when they get an email from you, about a week later, and says, hey, we connected on LinkedIn about a week ago. It was great to connect with you. By the way, I thought you might like this free report or free video I just recorded. Here's the link. Let me know what you think. Just something very simple, something very natural. No no newsletter style, just just a simple text-based email. So it looks like you're writing, friend to friend, or, to a coworker, something like that, right? So that's my take on how to connect with people on LinkedIn without paying for ads. Highly recommend it. Again, if you use the link below, if you are interested in using it, definitely use the link below and shoot me a message, and I'll send you my bonus, which is basically the conversation sequence that'll help get you started. I'll give it to you completely for free. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.